those dishes that are quite practical, delicious and easy to make. And it's very comforting. So I've got some chicken niblets here. Okay, you could use boneless, but I suggest something on the bone, okay? So I've got chicken niblets as well as I've got chickpeas. So both protein full, you know, and we're gonna make them in very delicious sauce, which is made of onions, garlic, ginger, tomatoes, green chilies, and blend of spices as usual to give that you know, the kick to the meal. So I'm going to start off with just peeling the onion. I'm going to use I've got 2 cans of chickpeas. You could use the fresh, you know, chickpeas too by soaking them overnight and then boiling them before cooking the dish. But why make life so difficult when you can just get ready-made chickpeas in the tin? And then you start, you know, cooking. I'm going to use 2 medium-sized onions for this. I'm going to slice them and I'm going to start frying them. And while I do all of this, you know, you're going to stay tuned with your drink and you're going to follow what I'm going to show you. So meanwhile, I am going to pass back to the lovely sisters who are here to entertain all of us.
We are definitely looking forward to that, Amina, and obviously the studio is going to fill up again with smells of onion and chicken and yes, we'll have cues again, won't we?
The home atmosphere again, right there in Salaam Britain. But now it's time for the latest headlines and updates across the UK and around the world.
And joining us, as always, is our senior correspondent, Arfan Ali, with today's top stories and developing news. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very good. You know, Monday coming towards the bank holiday weekend.
Yes.
I can smell.
It's already starting, isn't it?
It's distracting me already. So maybe the focus won't be there, but alhamdulillah, it's all good. It's all good.
All right, well, let's kick off with our first story then. So the first one is Burnham to face pressure at Labour conference to recognise Israel's actions in Gaza genocide. I got my words twisted there. Sorry about that.
It's the food.
Yeah,
it's the smell of the food. Yeah. It's distracting. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, so we're coming up to party conference season, which all the major parties will have their conferences where all the Labour foot soldiers will meet, whatever the locations are. I'm assuming with Andy Burnham being the King of the North will somewhere be up in North. I assume it will be somewhere there. So momentum, Labour and Palestine and the campaign for Labour Party Democracy and the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign are preparing to challenge the government at Labour's conference by promoting a model motion that would commit Labour to stronger action against Israel. So the groups are seeking to force Labour to accept the findings of the UN Commission of Inquiry that Israel has committed genocide in Gaza. The motion also calls for comprehensive sanctions and including a full arms embargo. It's very surprising for people who've seen Andy Burnham say, look, I'm tired of the same old infighting, you know, London-centric, Manchester new, you know, devolution. Yeah. And this is the Prime Minister who's just come into power. We're witnessing one of the biggest genocides in our generation, and he cannot come and say that this is a genocide. And that's all it takes him to say, this is a genocide, and we are not going to deal with Israel and put on the arms embargo. In fact, he's just saying that, oh, we've dealt this in a wrong way, we haven't handled this correctly or rightly. This is all political speak, or politics speaks, as they say. Yeah. But we expect something different from Burnham, and he said that, look, I'm coming into power to give you something different. Yeah. And it really just seems like Keir Starmer all over again. So would they force him into a corner or not? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, that is the issue. We want the separation between the Starmer government and the Burnham government be distinct.
Make the distinction,
Yeah, so Andy Burnham remains under pressure. He's still refusing to do it. We saw an article in the Middle East Eye by Dr. Ismail Patel, part of the coalition from Friends of Al-Aqsa. He said, look, there's a lot of damage done between Labour, Keir Starmer's Labour, and the Muslim community. We saw an upsurge in independent candidates. We saw the dissolution of political voters from the Muslim community against Labour government. You know, our natural home is Labour.
Yeah.
But on Gaza, Palestine, we realised, no, that can't be correct. And that's when you saw, you know, Muslims voting for Green Party.
We saw about 63% defected to the Green Party, as they put it.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
They made their stall very clear. This is a genocide. And we still have Labour not calling this a genocide. We have Burnham actually in Ukraine right now. We're spending $3 billion of our taxpayers' money to fund the war in Ukraine, rightly or wrongly. I'm not going to comment on that part of it. But it's £3 billion, and we can't acknowledge a genocide that's happened in Gaza. So Ismail Patel says that Burnham has to come out and say this is a genocide, apply the sanctions, put the embargoes, and really go after the genocidal regime of Netanyahu and his cronies.
It's the least.
It's absolutely the least that's there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, we've had so many determinations now that this is actually a genocide from different bodies, right? And we've obviously, with this one happening as well, it's almost like as well ask the question of when do the government actually take this seriously? You know, legitimising the fact that this is an illegal war, this is a genocide. When do they take it seriously? When do we see
the
it
issue
change?
here becomes, it comes all the way back to the Balfour Declaration. You know, our hands, British hands, are very dirty and muddy in the Middle East. We are the direct effect. I mean, we are the direct consequences, and the effect of this has been seen over the last 100 years or 80 years, 90 years. You've seen the effects of it across the Middle East. By design or by fault, it's happening, and we have to take ownership of this. And one part of that ownership is we've had millions of people of this great country marching and standing in solidarity with Palestine for the genocide. The obvious people can see this is a genocide. These are elected representatives.
Yeah.
They are not our masters. We are they work for us, not the other way around. And if the people, majority of the people are saying, hang on, this is a genocide, and you know, you've got governments in Spain, we've seen governments fall because of this.
Yeah.
And in my mind, the attacks on the Hamas attacks on the music venue and on attacks on Israel is one of the most consequential things that could have happened, and the fallout has been huge. We've seen the unveiling of the likes of the UAE. We've seen those people who are hiding in the shadows now saying we're pro-Zionist. We've seen the the BDS movement come to fore. We've seen the people saying, look, we recognise, we see this. We've seen 3,000 people potentially going to be prosecuted because they stand up for Palestine, or they are supporting a prescribed organisation, which is Palestine Action, meaning that if you support it, then you will go to prison for supporting a prescribed organisation. And we haven't seen Burnham roll back on that either.
No, we haven't. And we're waiting for that to happen. I mean, under international law, what else do we need? Under international law, it's been sanctioned that this is a genocide.
Exactly.
How many more international bodies or courts of law do
we need
to determine what the
problem.
What the definition is?
Francesca Albanese mentioned this in a report maybe a year and a half ago, where she said that maybe 67 countries were complicit in the genocide, meaning they were involved or supporting the genocide in Israel. There's something that Israel has a hold over this country and many other countries. Look at America, complicit in the genocide as well.
Yes.
And that hold is through the lobbyist AIPACs and the supporting of Israel and the Zionist entity there. And we have to let go of this genocidal regime. And we are seeming to ever for more support him. You've got the likes of Tommy Robinson being supported by the Zionists, being paid all-paid trips to go to Israel. We've seen the likes of Reform being funded to and support Israel as well. We've seen our MPs as well, Labour MPs, and the likes of Rachel Reeves, who was, you know, once the leader of Friends of Israel. So when you have that, there's a very complex issue. But Andy Burnham, if he's saying our new regime has to come out and say this is a genocide, we are stopping all trade with Israel. We are not providing the military intelligence.
Yeah.
To this day, MI6 is no doubt providing military intelligence to the Zionist entity, to the Americans. Our bases are being used in this country to launch attacks in Iran, and of course to support the war efforts and the genocide in Gaza. So we are complicit.
Yes, of course we are. And it's complex and ongoing, and we just need that one arm of support.
We need them to stop hiding behind these things as excuses, to be fair. That's what we need.
Moving on, our second headline for the day, sadly, is Israel's Ben Gvir posts a video of gallows site for hanging Palestinians. What kind of monstrosity is that? That somebody would be proud to show the proposed death site of human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. And this goes back to the same issue of if Burnham cannot call this a genocide, you've got hardliners, extremists like Israel's National Security Minister Ben Gvir, who's raided Al-Aqsa, stormed Al-Aqsa, the third holy site of Muslims. He's gone into prisons, taunted prisoners, he's taunted those people who've gone on flotillas. He's come out and said terrorists will be executed. In a video, he said, "I promised to worsen the conditions of terrorists in prisons." We kept it. I promised to pass the death penalty for terrorist laws. We did it. And now the death row and hanging facilities are also starting to take shape. So this is harping back. I mean, people like Ben Gvir have to be staunchly reminded of the Nazis, what they did, how they killed people. And I don't feel that we're far off from that. We saw now reports coming out where Palestinian prisoners were marked with numbers 44 on their heads, on their arms. This was similar to what the Nazis did with Jews being marked as saying this is a Jew.
There's no difference between it.
Absolutely. Isn't the Israeli state one of the people that have to learn the lessons of what happened to the Nazis, what the Nazis did to the Jewish community, murdering over 6 million innocent Jewish people across Europe. And even at that time, the Palestinian state did provide sanctuary for the Jewish community.
But this history of Palestinians giving sanctuary to the Jewish community has been hidden in history and in their own history, as we see via other alternative news reports, when young Jewish people in Israel get the opportunity to actually learn about what's happened in their own country and what they have been fed. Only then do they understand that the lies that they've been told.
Absolutely, and there are advocates, people who want Netanyahu to go. You've got Netanyahu who is coming up for election soon. He's on cases of trials for taking briberies. Him and his wife as well. He's, in some quarters, he's exacerbated anti-Semitism all over the world. I mean, he's become like a poster boy for this. And this is a gentleman who is wanted by the ICJ. And if you look at it, if you've got the likes of Smotrich and Ben Gvir in your government who are pulling the right to even the further extremist rights, then this is a significant problem. And also the reports suggest that these gallows or these executions would only apply to so-called Palestinian extremists and not Jewish settlers extremists who have...
They put a clause in their own law, didn't they?
Absolutely. I mean, if the law is the law, it's blind in front of everyone, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Jewish. I'm not saying that I'm condoning what he's bringing in, because these laws and those prisoners are unfair. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a gentleman called Mr. Barghouti who came on, not the commentator Mr. Barghouti, but Dr. Barghouti, Mustafa Barghouti, not him, a prisoner who has been in prison for 45 years. We have more women and children in Israeli prisoners living under harsh conditions than ever before. And this is punitive injustice put on the Palestinian people. And why that law does not extend to the Jewish settlers who are building homes, who have shot people, carrying AK-47s. And we saw video of Ben Gvir handing out these weaponry to these extremists to use against ordinary people, stealing their livestock, shooting them, laying hostage to them, siege to them.
Yeah.
And our government still can't turn around and say, well, this is a genocidal state. Though the Israeli government has called them extreme, has sent in the army, but there's arguments that they've also supported them by providing them cover. I mean, you're not really going to defend your land where you have a right to defend it if the Israeli army is standing on the sides waiting for you to make a move. And these guys then have the audacity to go and conduct these attacks because they know they've got the full support of the minister like Ben Gvir, Smotrich, Netanyahu in some extent, as well as the Israeli army.
That's an apt point, definitely.
Yeah, we're going to allow a state that's basically committed a whole genocide to now have the death penalty at their hands to use indiscriminately. It's actually it's shocking, to be fair.
It is.
But we're going to move on to our next story, which is actually quite interesting. To be fair, this story made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Kemi Badenoch rules out a monstrous pact with Reform UK. I mean, at this point, surely she might as well just go ahead and merge the parties, no?
Yeah.
The mind boggles, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Kemi Badenoch is obviously in charge of the Conservative Party. She's kind of laid out her own way forward for the Conservatives. We saw the disaster that was the Conservative government for the last 14, 15 years previous to the Labour coming into power. And what she says is that we're not going to join up or merge with Reform because they see them to be extremists on the right, and we see them both to be kind of extreme in terms of their policy on immigration.
There's not much difference.
We've got Reform even announcing today the fact that they want to give only people who are from the citizens of this country the ability to have social housing, and rather than immigrants. So again, you're defining the other, and you're defining what is different. And Kemi Badenoch has said, look, we're not going to merge with these people. And she described Reform as just people fighting all the time. She's referring to Farage, saying that Nigel Farage dictates what he wants depending on what he had for breakfast that day. And they're
like
all over the place. She added, how do I work with people like that? So she's obviously... Nigel Farage himself is a personality. He's a personality like Donald Trump, and the party is the personality, and the personality is the party. Without Nigel Farage, I don't think Reform will exist. And you can't have Kemi Badenoch and Nigel Farage coming together under one roof because there's two very strong personalities there with two different ideologies. So that's where she's kind of contemplating that. This row follows the suspension of a figure called Tim Montgomery, who was suspended after publicly criticising senior party figures. He said that Nigel Farage has fallen out of love with Zia Yusuf. Zia Yusuf is probably he's a Muslim Sri Lankan. His parents have immigrated from Sri Lanka to come to this country. He was asked, would you apply that immigration policy to your own parents? He kind of sidestepped that question. And really, if he was to put it real, would his parents be allowed in this country under Nigel Farage and Reform? And probably the answer is no.
No,
absolutely. People have come to this country, added value to this country.
Yes.
And like Zia Yusuf, except from some people may argue for Reform, he's become an entrepreneur. He's had the opportunity, the British education system. He's succeeded, and everyone else wants that opportunity. So he's kind of denying everyone else that opportunity in essence. So this is where it comes from. This individual has said, and he's now been removed from the party for saying that, for Nigel Farage, and he's come back and said, look, I have freedom of speech, I have the ability to say what I want to say, and I want to come back into the party. Now Farage, out of his own will, has chucked him out of the party, and that's kind of where the argument has kind of started from.
Don't you think that's probably more about saving the outward character of the party rather than actually disagreeing with the sentiments of
Well, Zia Yusuf is very key to the party. We know that he once resigned and literally the next day came back into power because around the issue of the niqab and, you know, one of the...
Yes, it's one of the few things
party members, MPs who are in Parliament kind of said some disgraceful comments about the niqab, and he kind of said that's the line. And I'm like, hang on 1 minute. You're pushing this immigration stance. You're pushing this kind of anti-immigrant stance upon us, and then you're worried about the niqab. We've seen
it's contradictory.
Contradictory. And this guy's extremely confused about where he stands on many issues. He's saying, I'm a practicing Muslim. I don't really see that in Islam, where we're not providing hospitality towards immigrants or people who have suffered from all over the world. Of course, you need processing, you need systems, etc. But this has been overblown, and because it's been put out there, you've got the public saying that immigration is the top priority of our country. And not the fact that our national debt, we're spending the second biggest amount of servicing our national debt. Not the fact that we need to get our young people into work. They're quoting immigration as being the main issue.
The underdog is always the one who's being having things put on their heads and being blamed for the state of this country and everything that goes wrong with it.
Absolutely.
So, which is very relevant to our next headline, which reads that, 9 out of 10 unsolved murders in London are linked to minority ethnic victims. This just extends the conversation, really, doesn't it?
This is absolutely in London. The research found that minority ethnic British people represented 61.7% of reported homicide victims, but 92.9% of all unresolved murder victims. So we're disproportionately more in our prisons, disproportionately more victims of crime, disproportionately more likely to get arrested, disproportionately more likely to be unresolved crimes. According to this research, 92.9% of all unresolved murders coming from ethnic minorities. It also found that black people were victims of, in 40% of all homicide, represented 73% of all unresolved murder cases between 2019 and 2023. The data suggests that homicides involving minority and ethnic victims, particularly black Londoners, are disproportionately represented among cases where offenders have not been brought to justice. And, again, black victims dominate issues of shootings and stabbings. Again, the report highlights black victims made up 83% of 36 victims of unresolved shootings, also representing 73.5% of unresolved stabbings. The Metropolitan Police said that they kind of said that the issue is because the mistrust between the black community or ethnic minority communities.
But it's easy to say that. I mean, more effort has to be put into community relations and community policing and education between the youth. And we're reading the report. In the case of ethnic minorities, you're more likely to get away with gun crime against.
Well, the question comes is that why are black and ethnic minority individuals less likely to come forward and report to the police, have trust in the police? Because I think they feel victims of the police. Disproportionate. We saw profiling of black individuals. It's a real thing. We saw the endemic racism within the Metropolitan Police, which our police commissioner still does not fully say is an issue, and that is the issue. Does the police commissioner say that this is institutional racism, institutional Islamophobia within the Met Police? I mean, he's kind of pushing back on that, saying, no, there isn't. I think that most people would say, psychologists would say, the first thing is to identify there is a problem.
Yes,
and then you can go.
Move forward from
you can't
that.
move forward from that.
No.
And if you can't see that there is a problem, then that is the problem. And the Met Police Commissioner has been very combative over that issue, while he's still saying that I'm looking to reform the system and root out misogyny within the service itself. With the Sarah Everard case that we saw with a police officer, serving police officer, was committed that heinous murder of Sarah Everard. So it doesn't look good readings for the Met Commissioner.
It's almost like it's the same pattern that happens in politics. If we ignore if we just pretend there isn't a problem, then we don't have to do anything about it.
Deal with it.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
we haven't got much time, so we're going to go to our last story, which is about the London buses. So the London bus strikes are to resume next week after the drivers reject the deal offer that was given to them.
Yeah. So this
Everyone
is this week. So
groans.
Tuesday, tomorrow, bus drivers represented by the Unite have voted to continue industrial action for negotiations failed to produce an agreement that they believe adequately addressed the working conditions during extreme heat. Of course, bus drivers in London, working those routes up and down, extreme heat in those cabins that they're working on, 12-hour shifts.
That's crazy,
Of course, they
isn't
have their breaks and they're complaining. And if we understand the wet and weather patterns and the El Nino effect, these summers are likely to be more extreme, more hotter as we go forward. So they've decided that they need to go on strike to protect their members, and more than 1,500 drivers will resume industrial action on Tuesday, August 25th. Unite members rejected Arriva's offer because it did not go enough to solve the problems of hot weather working.
Yeah.
The drivers have said that drivers have argued that temperatures in their cabs can reach a sweltering 40 degrees.
That's
And
crazy.
how do you expect anyone to work in those
40 degrees,
conditions?
absolutely, yeah. Unite said these conditions put drivers risk of fatigue and heat exhaustion, heat stroke and dehydration. And if you're under those conditions and you've got a bus full of passengers, more than 100 plus people, 150, I'm not sure what those double-deckers can take nowadays, then you're putting their lives at risk if the driver is not being looked after properly, because he's driving those roads. If he suddenly has a heat stroke or dehydration issues or something else related to what's happening in the cabin, then it causes an issue and danger for everyone on the road.
Of course it does, and with that danger, we're going to
Listen,
take a pause.
I just know that those bus drivers definitely, they're striking, but hopefully they'll get what they deserve, because them buses were terrible.
Definitely.
As a passenger
Well, we-
alone.
Well,
We
Arriva
def-
did say the
we-
well-being of staff and customers is top priorities, and they said the company added that extra welfare checks, cooling breaks, and during hot weather will be introduced, upgrading air conditioning systems on our newer
Well,
fleets.
they definitely need that to get in place as soon as possible.
On
Thank
that
you,
note,
thank you, Arfan, for doing the news with us. We are going to go to a break, though, aren't we?
Very quick
We're gonna
break,
go to a
yes,
break.
we will.
So we hope that you join us back here after the break. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are back and welcome back.
We are indeed. And we are live with Zaka again, and we can smell those delicious smells coming. I am going to walk out smelling of an onion. Zaka.
Back. So I fried some onions, say about 1 whole onion, and I left the brown, took some of it out, left it on the side because we're going to use that later. Now I've got another 1 whole onion that I'm frying. As soon as it's translucent, I'm going to add some ginger and garlic paste. And also I'm using this masala called Panch Puran masala, which means it's got 5 of different spice or the seeds in it, like black seed. I don't know if you guys can see. Mustard seeds, cumin seeds, some fenugreek seeds, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So you crush them, or you just throw those in?
No,
I'm
just gonna throw that in.
Okay.
Let me put the ginger garlic first, and then ginger garlic paste has gone in. Now I'm going to put these seeds in. This gives really nice flavor. It's used in achar. It's also called achar masala. So
just clarify what achar masala is.
Sorry?
The achar masala that you just threw into the pot there.
Yes.
What's in that?
So that's what I was explaining. This mustard seeds, black seeds,
that's the 5.
cumin seeds,
Yes,
fenugreek
yes,
seeds,
I'm with you now.
and any seed. So there is about 5 different seeds are in there, and that sort of
all
adds.
the seeds now.
Yes, adds the flavor to this dish. So I'm going to further fry this. With the garlic ginger paste, I added 1 full teaspoon, as well as those seeds. And now I'm going to add the chicken into it as well. So I'm using chicken niblets. You could use the boneless chicken, or the whole chicken cut into small pieces.
Okay.
Chicken on the bone is advisable because it will give more flavor to the dish. So just that I'm going to fry until it's brown. The chicken changes color.
So how long would it take for that chicken to brown over?
About 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
And after that it changes color, and I've sort of sealed the chicken, I'm going to be adding a whole lot of spices, which is your basic spice for the curry, and you have to add them in proportion. So, for example, if you add too much turmeric into the dish, it will come out yellow. If you add too much chili powder, it will become too hot. So the adjustment of the spices have to be just right. And all I can say is that you learn this trick. The more you cook, the more you practice, the more you know how well to use your spices. It's a good thing to follow a recipe, but then again, it's nothing like, actually working out for yourself, like I would say eyeballing it, or having the estimation. That is the best way to do the cooking.
I think what we need is to set up the cooking for Zaka, so we can all sit alongside her and
I'm just sitting here watching her mesmerised, but it's your outfit as well, Zaka. It's actually, 10-10.
Oh, do you like it? Oh, thank you.
I love the pattern.
Oh,
Thank the material.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's not only about the cooking; it's about wearing nice stuff as well.
Of course, you have to look good too.
I've added the salt. Let's just stick to cooking for now. I've added the salt, little bit of turmeric. I'm adding about ½ teaspoon of chili powder. I'm also going to add dry coriander seeds that's been crushed, about 1 teaspoon, as well as cumin powder, about ½ teaspoon for now. Give it good stir like this. Fry the spices for about 40 seconds or so. We don't want to burn the spices. And then I will add some tomatoes to it as well. And let's just start chopping the tomato, as well as I'll be using green chilies as well. Where is my...
To give it an extra zap.
kick.
Yeah, extra kick. Yeah.
And you don't have to chop the tomatoes like in certain way. You can do it roughly. Actually, you can put the whole tomato in as well, because once you cover it and let it cook, it's gonna disappear in there. So I haven't added any water because the tomato is going to release juices. Chicken as well, you know, it's gonna release water. So, oops, that's fallen in there. Let's just cut this bit.
They're nice red tomatoes, Zaka.
Yes, you can use tinned tomatoes if you wish to. Let's just get this last tomato cut up. And that's it.
I think there's always something nice about using fresh tomatoes though when you're cooking, isn't it? And watching it, you know, actually cook down and stew down. It does. It makes a difference. It
Exactly. And also, you know, tomatoes enhance the flavour of the food. It's got the natural salts.
Yeah.
So it sort of enhances the salt to the dish by adding the tomatoes. Some people just add tomato paste, but I think it's nothing like adding the fresh thing into this. So now let's increase the heat to number 8, about 8. Once it starts bubbling away, it will release the water, and then I'll reduce it right down to number 3 and let the chicken cook. Once it's cooked about 65%, 70%, then you take you to the next stage of adding the chickpeas. So meanwhile, if you've got any questions, why don't you just drop us a line, either on my Instagram, Zarka's Kitchen, or on Islam channel.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Chef Zarka.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So you know these chickpeas, right? Obviously, you've got tinned ones there.
Yeah.
How long does it actually take to cook raw chickpeas? Because I actually have a bag of them, and I've just given up on the bag of chickpeas that I bought. You know, I bought the bag of chickpeas thinking, oh, let me cook them fresh whenever I cook chickpeas.
You're enthusiastic,
because you know, we want to, just like with my kidney beans, I prefer to soak them overnight, and you know, all, you know, the peas, when you have rice and peas, I prefer to buy the hard ones and soak them rather than buy the tin sometimes.
Yes.
But chickpeas,
Chickpeas,
I mean,
it's the same as the kidney beans. Just soak them overnight, the best thing, and then boil them. And sometimes they're so stubborn. So what I do is add half teaspoon of baking soda once I'm soaking the chickpeas, and then wash them, boil them, and they come out so soft, and they cook in like, I don't know, quarter of the time.
yeah, because they take ages,
yeah,
don't
I mean,
they?
you're saying a quarter of the time. I mean, I like any way that you can cheat. So things often go in the pressure cooker.
Right. I don't have one.
If you're talking about that, well, the other alternative is Zarka's method, putting it in the
With the
water
baking soda.
Yeah,
I'm
and
definitely going
boiling
to try
up.
that.
Yeah.
Because the last time I cooked the chickpeas, it took ages. They were stubborn. Like you said, Zarka, they were so stubborn. It took ages for them to cook.
Yes, or use pressure cooker as well.
So,
Yeah,
so
I don't have one.
how long would you cook the chickpeas in the pressure cooker?
Pressure cooker, usually about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm adding green chilies as well to the chicken. And at this stage, just stir it. You can see all the tomatoes already mashed up in there. And now I'm going to put this on slow heat and let it do its magic. Okay, coming back to the chickpeas and the kidney beans, the longer you soak it, the better it is. And if you really haven't got time, add like half teaspoon or teaspoon of baking soda. Let that soak for about an hour, and then wash it off and cook it, and you'll see that it cooks ever so quickly.
So, Zarka, are you bunning it right now? Is that what you're doing?
Sorry?
Are you bunning it?
Bunning it? Not
Bunning.
yet. Not
Bunning.
yet. I'm gonna let that cook, and then I'm gonna bun it.
We're getting the lingo in there, aren't we? Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. And it's smelling amazing, isn't it, so far?
Definitely. But while we're taking those wonderful aromas, we're going to move to a break.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back with you soon, inshallah. Where are we? Oh, yeah, that page. So do you work from home? Obviously, is your base from home, and then you go out and you do events and things like that?
Yeah, we do. But right now I'm not working right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously when I was with them, so we would just, we had a small office and we would work there. They would do YouTube shows and stuff, and then we'd go out to events, cover those events.
So were you doing a lot of like premieres and interviewing a lot of Bollywood
premiere,
stars and things like that?
interviewing
Okay.
Pakistani celebrities,
Yeah.
going to events, or we had like YouTube shows as well, where they would review films, dramas, and everything.
You can educate us on all of that when we're live on air.
Gosh, smells of onions in here.
It does,
You're
yeah.
gonna reek of onions.
Yeah.
So,
Throw this in
okay.
the wash when I go home.
Yeah, exactly. I've got some perfect in my bag anyway.
Yeah, you have to go on public transport. I get to sit in my car.
I think it would be great because you know when people decide they're not going to sit next to you because it's, like,
reason?
it's
Oh,
fine.
no.
I don't mind.
People smell bad. People smell really bad.
No, honestly.
Okay.
Going back to the kitchen.
All right then. Okay, Zaka, we're going to the guests first, and then we'll come back to you. Okay? Inshallah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. So we are now going to go to our guest interview, and our next guest is someone who has spent years at the heart of entertainment journalism, covering celebrities, film releases, red carpets and everything that makes showbiz such a dynamic world.
That sounds exciting. Yes, she's a prominent showbiz reporter and content creator who's been affiliated with one of the leading entertainment platforms, Galaxy Lollywood. You may have heard of it, founded by Mu'min Ali Munshi back in 2010. She's covered major industry events, interviewed top celebrities and shaped digital entertainment content for millions of viewers.
Yep, and recently she's moved to the UK to expand her international media career, and she continues to maintain her strong presence in the entertainment world, connecting with prominent figures, creators and celebrities here as well.
So today she joins us to talk about showbiz reporting, the challenges, the perks, the evolution of entertainment journalism and how social media has completely transformed the way stories are told. And she's also someone who has worked behind the scenes as a social media manager and content head. The list is endless, mashallah. So she understands clickbaiting, these are terms we need explained, digital trends and audience behaviour better than most.
So let's give a warm Salaam alaikum to our guest, Kakashan Ismail. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
We're very glad to have you here with us today.
Happy to be
Yeah.
here.
Yes, so you've recently moved to the UK, but let's go back, let's take it back to the beginning of your story and find out a little bit about what actually got you involved in entertainment journalism.
I was just really like infatuated with celebrities. I just wanted to be in their world. I wanted to see how it was like to be close to them. So I just, one random day, I just messaged Galaxy Lollywood on Instagram when Insta was not even this huge big thing. This was like back in 2016. And he just like onboarded me. He's like this enthusiastic girl. She just wants to be on board. She wants to write stories. She wants to see how everything goes. So let's just get her on board.
Wait, how old are you?
I was, 10 years ago, I was 22.
Oh, wow. So you were still young and fresh.
Yeah.
Definitely had
That's
that
when she was snapped
excitement.
up,
Yeah, and
Okay.
then I started writing for them. Started writing content for them about anything like fashion or like celebrity drama reviews. And then we moved to an office space. And it was like, let's just come in, let's just start building up. Started building a team. And then we decided, let's make a YouTube channel because YouTube was getting big there. And there was no one in Lahore where I'm from. There were mostly people in Karachi who were doing this. There was no one in Lahore. And this was Galaxy Lollywood. Lollywood is basically the Pakistani film industry. So they were majorly covering films. But in Pakistan, the films are not as big as in India.
Okay.
So then we switched to dramas because dramas are huge
Oh,
in
yes, of
Pakistan.
course they are.
Huge.
Yeah.
And the celebrities are the same, the ones that are in dramas and films. Like in Bollywood, you have distinctions. If you have Shah Rukh Khan, you're not going to see Shah Rukh Khan in dramas in India.
I understand.
So that's what infatuated me to get there.
So who was the first celebrity you had the opportunity to interview?
The first celebrity was...
If you can remember.
I actually do remember, I think it was Mahira Khan.
Okay.
Yeah, Mahira Khan.
Okay.
She was great. She's fun, she's enthusiastic, and she gives answers really quickly. And she's like, ask me more, ask me more. She's always like dancing around and everything. And I just met her recently here as well, like last month. And she remembered me.
Oh,
but I've met her
that's
like
so nice.
only 3 times in 10 years.
Yeah.
And she remembered me. She's like, oh my God, girl, what are you doing here? I was like, I moved in. She's like, oh my God, good luck. And in front of all of these hundreds of people. And we were just talking about ourselves.
That's a nice boost, isn't it?
Yeah.
And is she characteristic of a Pakistani actress who's stayed in dramas, or has she moved on to other things?
She started as a VJ, and then she did one drama, and then she was mostly in movies, big in movies. So she does not too many dramas. She's more of a movie star, and she is big, and she's kind, and she works for all of these humanitarian causes. So she's like everybody just loves her. She's a great person.
This must be such a change for you though as well, being in the interviewee seat rather than actually interviewing and asking the questions, right?
It
must be a
is.
bit of a change, and especially having so much experience in talking to so many different people, so much different celebrities along the way, and being part of, you know, the journey for a lot of them, you know, seeing them from, you know, different stages. So what has the experience with working at Galaxy actually done for you and your growth as a person?
I think it has given me a lot of confidence to be out there, to meet new people, and to explore what am I good at. I'm good at content creation, or I'm good at heading someone like a team, or I'm good at giving my ideas, or am I good at writing. So I feel like I'm good at almost everything in like little portions. Yeah, that's really helped me that way.
So your experience at Galaxy Lollywood, do you think it's essential for somebody like yourself who wants to report to belong to a company, or, as you know, we've briefly mentioned, you know, we're talking about the trend now for so many people of all ages is to do their own reporting online, whether that's through, you know, various online platforms that we're not going to mention at the moment. But do you think you need to belong to a company, or you can go independent and you can set up successfully and grab people's attention that way?
Yeah, I think I can, because they have this show on YouTube that's called What's the 411, which is basically like giving out all the celebrity news that's been going on the whole week. So it comes every Thursday, which has, I have usually been a part of it when there's like a big award shows, because people like seeing my reviews on clothing and everything, all the fashion, what the celebrities wearing, what happened at the award show. So I feel like that's given me, you know, like a face of Galaxy. So people recognize me. And literally I went to my GP and she was like, "Are you Galaxy?" I was like, "Oh."
You know,
I feel like I have
you're
that
getting
face.
somewhere.
So I feel like I can,
memorable
I can
face.
do it on my own as well.
What's the 411? Is that the one with ZZ Mills and what's his name? David something. Am I on the right track there?
No.
Mills.
This is like just the name of the show, and we do it amongst ourselves.
Oh, okay.
What the 411 was in Mean Girls. You're like, what's the 411?
Yeah. Okay. So you guys have adapted it from there.
Yeah.
All right. So this is now we're talking about your UK. You've moved to the UK. You're expanding yourself here, and I mean, what has the transition been like? Professionally, has there actually been a complete transition yet? What does it look like for you?
I think like over here, because I don't want to say this in a mean way, but in Pakistan everything's a bit laid back, so things start a bit slow. I think that's the culture of showbiz actually. So things start a bit slow and then they go up to later. And over here, everything's like fast and on time, and like so much. There's not a lot of competition over here in terms of like Pakistani media culture. There's different ones, so you have to find your niche over here. So I think that's a bit of a challenge.
You know, you're talking about finding your niche. What other things do you think that challenges that journalists face, you know, in terms of you're interviewing celebrities, you know, do you ever feel that maybe you might be going over a line with them, or how do you rein it in and keep that respect or that privacy? Do you even think that's an issue?
Yeah, I think you can't really ask them too many personal questions, and sometimes they say they don't want to talk about their marriage, or they don't want to talk about like kids or like some projects. So you have to run that through them.
Yes, that's understandable.
You have to run that through their managers and stuff, and you can't really do that. So that's a bit of a problem. Like I think people in Asian cultures really want sensationalism. So if you're like, oh my God, I can't ask these questions, they're going to be the same question like everybody's asking.
But that's what we're looking, you know. That's,
journalism.
I mean, you know, when you have kids and you're talking about sensationalism, and you're looking at, well, you know, what's appropriate, and how intrusive is it on someone's life?
Yeah, everyone wants a bit of tea, don't they? So sensationalism is the thing that keeps journalism alive. But I guess, like you're saying, you have to know where not to cross the line and stuff. But at the same time, I mean, these are pros and cons that come with the job, right? You kind of learn it as you go along. You know when to stop, you know when to pull back, and then you know when to pivot the conversation in another direction. But I want to hear about the perks of the job. So there must be a few.
Yeah, there are quite a few perks. Like you get to sit with celebrities, you get to what they can't talk about on camera. You can ask them if they can confide in you. They'll tell you. Like the certain celebrity, she was dating somebody, but she kept saying he's my friend, and then she told us that she's getting married to him in like 2 months.
Okay.
So people were like,
go.
yeah, they are together. They're gonna get married. So you get all of these news. You're like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I want to see what they're gonna wear.
Yeah.
So you get all of those perks. You get to become friends with them. You get like invites beforehand.
Yeah.
So those are, I think those are
Nice
perks,
little perks,
Yeah,
backstage
why not?
premiere
Why
tickets and
not?
stuff like that. MashaAllah and Mubarak.
So, Hamza, so on the flip side of that, you know, what would be like the disadvantages then?
If you fall out with them,
Ah.
yeah.
Okay.
If you fall out with them, it can be like not good for us. You won't get the news, or like if you like give out a news and they're like, "Can you take that off, please?" And like,
yeah.
oh my God, that's a disadvantage for the company. So, yeah.
And are those complicated situations to undo?
Yeah, sometimes. Like, if a certain celebrity, he got divorced and he himself gave the news out, but his fan pages are telling us off that you're giving out fake news, don't you have any shame, this and that. So you get into all those problems. So yeah, it does get a tricky situation when the celebrity is giving the news out himself. So you can't really say he told us himself that he's getting divorced.
Yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
tactful there, don't you?
I guess it's something again that's developed with the evolution of the whole industry, isn't it? You know, celebrities once upon a time were a lot more guarded, whereas now with social media, you're seeing, you know, celebrities have got their own pages, so they might just let something slip, and then next thing you know, they've taken the post down. But again, as the journalist, you've got a kind of like a fine line that you're treading in terms of
So I mean, like, taking up that point, what changes have you seen then in media journalism since you started? I mean, obviously the platforms themselves have changed, which you did touch on earlier, but or give us the significant changes that you've seen on your
I feel
journey.
like most of the celebrities, the ones that are content in themselves, they know that we're going to get work regardless if we're on social media or not. They are like content with them. They only post about their work, not about their private life.
Yeah.
So they are fine
Sensible.
with that. Some celebrities, like this superstar Fawaz Khan, he does not post on Instagram. He said, I don't even have Instagram on my phone. He has got an Instagram, but his manager's the one that posts his work posts and stuff. So you don't know where he's eating out, what he's doing, what he's not doing. So his life is quite guarded. So it's up to the person how much they want to give out, how much they want to keep them to themselves. Back in the day, I felt like celebrity was a celebrity, but now
There was a mystery about
really,
them, wasn't
yeah,
there?
mystery.
Definitely, that's definitely
But now they're like
changed.
really accessible. People can say whatever they want to them, write wherever they want.
That's a key term, isn't it? Accessibility that we have today, isn't it? To celebrities, they're not these mythical creatures anymore.
And now that everybody has phones, so whatever celebrities he's out there in the restaurant or whatever, they just have to like, like
with their
hide
disguise.
themselves. Like, oh my God.
I mean, there's so much going on in the world right now. Anyway, you know, people. Sometimes you can hide easily with the right distraction and the right disguise because people are focused in other places. But on that note, we've got the speed of news right now because of social media and the way that's changing. So do you see that there's had to be an adaptation for journalists in terms of how they, get the scoop or they get the story out on time?
Yeah, I think you have to be really quick because even if you are like 5 minutes late, it's old news. It's old news. Yeah. Before, like, you had the news, you had the platform, like a big media channel, and then you were giving out the news in a proper way. now you just have to give it out like as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's old
we
news.
want everything within seconds, don't we?
Yeah.
And then it's like swipe left.
Yeah,
What's the
we're like,
next
okay,
story?
Found it. What's next? Yeah.
Yeah, it must be pressure though, because there's also get it right first time. Don't give us the
Yeah.
wrong news, because then we're going to come for you. You know, like platforms will be having to take down stuff because they've given out the wrong information, and everybody's in the comments talking about this isn't correct.
Yeah.
You don't need to take this down. There's still time. So you know, there's a lot of pressure there because
I see that
you know
all
you
the
get that
time.
wrong
Yeah.
and it comes back on you. I mean, this again leans into the thing of clickbait as well, because we've got so much fake news out there. So how do you guys manage the clickbait kind of situation? Do you guys create posts based off of this clickbait?
No, not really. I feel like sometimes if it's like for the YouTube show, if you have to give a catchy clickbaity headline, then you can, but not too much because people are going to call it fake news.
Okay, so give us an example of a clickbait headline.
It can be like, do you know what this celebrity did at the event?
Okay,
So
we're
it
with
can be
you.
that.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be like too much offensive. Like
Yeah.
the celebrity will call you, why are you saying that about me?
Yeah.
Well, we've got enough of that in the media, haven't we? High-profile
Yeah.
court cases,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
privacy, people's privacy being intruded.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And which obviously we have to question the ethics of entertainment journalism.
Yes,
don't we?
absolutely.
Yeah. Are those? Is the legal aspect something that you've had to learn about?
Yes.
Yeah.
We did get a few court cases on us, but then they would just say please take that down or write an apology post. But then after that, we know we have to write it in a certain way that it's not offensive to them. So yeah.
It's when the fines come in that we know we've gone over the line, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
No fines for us.
Yeah.
We're good.
we do our best.
So in terms of content, you were the content head, right?
Yes.
So how did you decide in general, when it comes to journalism, how do you decide what is the type of story that you think your audience is going to gravitate to or want to hear about?
I think audience likes private life. They like private life, but sometimes the celebrities are okay with their private life. They're giving out the news themselves.
It's what sells them, isn't it?
If they are okay with giving out more information, then that's good. And audience likes who's going to come on the dramas, what pairs are there, what new films are coming out, what's happening in celebrities' lives. So all of that content, mix and match, basically.
A little bit of everything.
So, for example, what's the top Pakistani drama today? You know that say the younger age groups are into, so that 20, late teens to 30 age group.
Well, right now there's a new drama. It's called Dar-e-Nijat. It's about this girl who is really infatuated with this guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, I'm in love with him. And she's going to Harvard. He hasn't gone to Harvard. And her grandmother is telling her that you need to be in love with God, not with a person, because if you love with a person, God's going to take it away from you. So it's given out all these Islamic teachings in there. So I think that is really captivating
So,
audiences.
I mean, you know, in terms of the relevance to this, you know, what we're talking about today, I mean, there's a real sort of moral message that people are attracted to as well, in journalism, in celebrity news. You know, you're saying that this drama's got an Islamic message behind it, and examining characters' attitudes towards relationships. So, I mean, that's quite promising.
Cutting you off, because people really take it personally, like whatever's happening in the drama, they will say, this is not our culture, this is not Islam. But it is actually a fictional show, but people are really taking it on themselves. So obviously they have to be morally and religiously correct in the dramas as well. So people are really attached to dramas like these, especially me. I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Let's see.
So, I mean, you know, therefore, as a journalist, do you feel that you have a moral responsibility to portray things in a certain manner? You know?
Yeah. We can't really like celebrities that we can't have them feel bad or something. We can't make them offended, and we have to be like, you know, morally correct, and because it's a two-way street, you have to be with them.
Yes, you need the information from
You
them.
need the
and,
information. They need us. We need them.
So,
definitely. Yeah.
I'm leaning into. I'm wondering then, you know, when it comes to the content, obviously when you're pushing the content on YouTube and things like that, and you obviously trying to get people's attention on what's happening in this drama or that drama, or you know the things that are being aired on Galaxy Lollywood. So when it comes to viral things, what are the type of things that go viral that stay within the confines of keeping it morally correct? You know, because you know there's got to be the balance as well. You know, when it comes to marketing, I guess Islamic products of any kind, there's got to be that balance. You want to have the viral posts, but you want to make sure that it's a good viral post.
Yeah.
Hello.
Usually when we have those kind of content, we run that through the managers or the celebrities.
Okay.
And if they say, okay, keep at this information, give that information. So all of that is authenticated before, and we give out the proper information. We try not to give too much, try not to give too little. So that's if it's the first, we are the first ones giving out that news. Then,
Have you had a few that have gone viral though?
Yeah, like somebody's wedding coming up, or some
love weddings.
really
Love a
kick
good wedding
pair
post,
that's going to be in a drama. Yeah, news like that. That goes
Yeah,
viral really quickly.
Mashallah.
So, I mean, you know, well, what kind of advice would you give to the rest of us, you know, who might be looking to get into journalism, our viewers out there?
Oh, I think just be confident, be yourself, and just try to like research on the celebrities, dramas, whatever, whatever you want to get into.
And this is for showbiz media
showbiz.
specifically,
And just good with how you write and how you speak, and just think of whatever just comes to your mind. Just think of it, write that down, and just be confident.
Thank you so much. It's amazing. And I'm sure anybody that wants to get into the entertainment industry as a journalist will take on that advice. So, Jazakallah khairan, thank you for coming today.
Thank
And
you.
before we let you go, please tell us where we can find you.
Indeed.
Because I'm sure our viewers would love to keep up with you.
You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Kehkashan Ismail, KAHKSHAANISMAIL.
Thank you for that.
Brilliant, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. And now after
Gonna
that,
go into the kitchen?
Yes, we definitely need to go to the kitchen.
Definitely need to go to the
the smells
kitchen.
have changed. They definitely changed.
They've evolved. Let's have a look at what Chef Zaka's doing in the kitchen then.
How are you doing, Zaka?
Oh, very well. I mean, it's true, the smell has changed, and that's because first I fried the onions, so the studio was smelling of just fried onions. But now, because I've been cooking the chicken in that tomatoey sauce with all the spices and the garlic ginger, so obviously the whole, you know, the smell is going to change. As you can see, chicken is bubbling away. It's almost cooked, but not quite. At this stage, I'm going to add some yogurt. So I've got plain yogurt here. Always beat the yogurt up before you pour it into your sauces. Otherwise, you know, it can curdle. So I'm just beating it.
Sorry, Zaka, what does the yogurt do at this stage in the cooking when you're adding it?
It's going to add, obviously everything adds taste, but it's going to add the thickness, creaminess to the dish.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't believe how long it took for me to do that. Okay. I'm just stirring the chicken, pour the yogurt in. So I've got about 2 tablespoons of yogurt here. Stir it, and instantly the sauce color would change. Before it was very, very red because of the tomato. Now it's going to look, you know, more like, you know, like when you add the coconut milk or something like that, the color sort of changes. So
It's looking creamier.
creamier. Now I'm going to pun it. as Amina asked me earlier, Sister Zarka, are you bhunning it? So
Okay.
now the lid is not going to be on. Chicken is 70%, or more than actually 80% cooked. I've added the yogurt. Now I literally going to keep stirring until the oil forms on top. And then because my chickpeas are already boiled, so I don't really need to worry about adding them, in the beginning so they cook. So
Zarka, we're going to come back to you and going to continue telling
Okay.
us what you're going to do after this break.
okay.
Look forward to it.
Each of them are accused.
We've consistently.
Okay, tell.
If Imran
50 years.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salaam Britain. Now, we hope you have been having a wonderful morning with us so far. Now, let's see what's happening across the UK and beyond as we bring you stories from around the world. And our first story takes us to the US as it imposed 50% tariffs on some Canadian goods on Saturday after two long-standing allies failed to reach a trade deal, with each side accusing the other of derailing days of talks. Let's play this report.
Each of them are accusing the other for derailing the days of these talks. Now Canada faces 50% tariffs on a variety of products. So US and Canada had been involved in intense negotiations for the last 3 days, and both the sides were signaling as if that they are reaching to a kind of a deal. But there we are realizing from what we have heard from USTR Greer's office, the White House briefing, at the same time from Prime Minister Mark Carney's office in Canada, that there was some kind of a last minute request from both the sides which was not fulfilled by each other. So now each of them are accusing the other for derailing the days of these talks. Okay, so these products are taking a hit on almost $20 billion of Canadian exports to the United States, and which, if you look at it from a very objective point of view, it's not a huge impact because it just affects 5% of Canada's exports to the US. But what it impacts is actually the critical sectors like the lumber, the softwood lumber, wood products industry essentially, and the wine industry, then the dairy industry. So there will be some kind of job losses, there will be some kind of business closures in these particular sectors. Although the impact will not be very broad based, but at the same time, some sectors will really have a lot of impact. So even if Canada says there will be dollar for dollar retaliation, doesn't really mean that US is going to see a big hit. But as I said, there will be some industries which will take an impact. Now, we don't exactly know because Canada has not announced its plans in terms of which industry it's going to target and how it will target. What happens now is that if these talks are stalled, then perhaps we don't know what exactly happens to USMCA negotiations. If Canada could not reach a deal with US on this, then the broader USMCA negotiations, there is really a big question mark on that.
And follow-up to that is Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said on Saturday that starting September the 8th, Canada would impose tariffs on imports from the United States across a raft of sectors in retaliation for President Donald Trump's new 50% tariffs that came into effect from midnight. We'll have a look at this report.
We've consistently proposed long-term partnerships, while America has often pursued short-term transactions. The gap between partnership and competitor, unfortunately, has remained too wide in recent days. So last evening, I instructed our negotiators to return to Ottawa. We cannot accept what they've offered, and we will not give what they've asked. Canada will match Washington's new tariffs dollar for dollar in order to protect Canadian workers, farmers, families, and businesses. Our response will be concentrated in sectors such as steel, dairy, appliances, agricultural equipment, pulp and paper, and electronics. In the coming days, we'll release details of these new tariff measures which will come into force the Tuesday after Labor Day. Another prominent justification for U.S. tariffs has been their claim that since the United States runs, quote, a trade deficit with Canada, we were ripping them off. Also a quote. But the U.S.'s narrow merchandise trade deficit only exists because the U.S. buys so much of its energy from Canada. Canada fuels American growth, supplying 99% of their natural gas imports, 85% of their electricity imports, 60% of their crude oil imports. I don't think they want us to stop sending any of that energy.
So the next story we have is about the US President Donald Trump, where he said on Friday that he did not think that Iran was ready to make the right deal, and that Washington was observing what happens in the conflict. Let's play this next one.
Iran shifting economic warfare towards Iran, does that indicate that the military options in the region for the U.S. are limited?
No, not at all. It just means that we're seeing what happens. They have no money. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They are not paying their soldiers. They're not paying their police. They have 350% inflation. So we're just going to sort of see what happens. And we have total control, as you know, of the border. We have total control. If you look at the blockade, we have total control of that entire region having to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And that means well into it, the land areas. So they would love to make a deal, but they're not ready to make the right deal, in my opinion, yeah.
Mourners gathered in Gaza City to attend the funerals of Palestinians whose bodies were recently recovered from beneath rubble. Again, we have another report for you.
I was waiting for this day and I knew that a big wound would be opened, but it's not a problem. The important thing is that we honour them at their resting place, that we find a place to go and pour out our troubles to them, that we find a place to go and talk with them. So I thank God that after 3 years of torment, of pain, of loss, of needing them, we managed to reach something where we can honour them.
SubhanAllah, those images are always difficult to watch. But
Yes.
Our next story is that Israeli soldiers were seen outside a besieged house in the Palestinian village of Qusra on Thursday, throwing belongings and other items out from a balcony. Other footage shows Israeli soldiers at a different house belonging to Raed Ridi, the brother of a Palestinian American, Louis Ridi, whose home in Qusra has been encircled by militant settlers for another week. The soldiers were filmed throwing items into a well outside the house. Let's show this next report.
Okay, tell me, what's your name? You throwing his stuff out of the balcony.
I'm the owner.
You're not the owner. He's the owner right here.
You can picture me.
He's the owner of the house. Why do you throw his stuff out?
What?
He's the owner of this house.
No, I'm the owner.
No, you're not the owner. He's the owner.
I'm the owner. Who?
He's asking. That's his stuff. You're throwing it out. More garbage to be dropped in our well. You're grabbing it, go into the well. This house belonged to Raed Ridi. He's an American citizen. It has been occupied by the IDF for many days now.
Jailed former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan would not confront the military or Army Chief Asim Munir if freed. Khan aide and PTI spokesperson Zulfikar Buhari has said portraying Munir as being able to extend a healing hand after a legal breakthrough this week. Our next report exemplifies this.
If Imran Khan was released tomorrow, hypothetically, he wouldn't do anything that would effectively damage the country. And if that doesn't mean you go loggerheads with the establishment, with the military leader, you do everything in your power, you control your own hurt, you curb your own pain, you swallow it for the betterment of your country. If Imran Khan, inshallah, gets shifted to hospital today or latest tomorrow, then, regardless of anything, the 27th September march is still on, and preparations are in full swing. That's not going to change. It's going to be massive and very, very monumental. It's going to be, as always, peaceful, but you're going to see huge numbers coming out on September 27th, God willing.
So our next story brings us to Europe, where Spanish police evicted hundreds of migrants from a makeshift migrant beach camp in Ceuta on Thursday, where they were staying after the crossing the Moroccan-Spanish border en masse on July the 30th. So we'll just quickly see this next video.
Iceland will hold referendum on August the 29th on whether to reopen membership talks with the European Union. The question boils down to whether the island should cede control of its waters and risk its fishing industry in exchange for lower interest rates and a seat at Europe's table. Our next report will explain.
50 years ago, Gylfi Gerson cut British fishing trawl wires and dodged Royal Navy frigates on board small Icelandic Coast Guard vessels. Those maritime confrontations between Iceland and the UK are known as the Cod Wars. Iceland won, asserting control of the waters and the fishing industry that are the foundation of the island's economy. Now, the fear of losing control of that resource is at the heart of an EU referendum on August 29.
I would feel that what I did as a young man is for nothing.
Gerson was a member of Iceland's Coast Guard and a radio operator in the Cod Wars.
I would vote in favor. I would say yes, because I think we should try to find out if this is beneficial or not. But if I find it not beneficial, say we completely lose control of our fishing stocks, then I would definitely say no, and when and if a possible agreement is on the table.
The ballot later this month is not a vote on membership, and any accession treaty would require a second referendum. Iceland had applied to join the EU in 2009 and spent 4 years negotiating before a new Eurosceptic government shelved the process in 2013. For many, the vote boils down to a trade-off, whether lower interest rates and a seat at Europe's table are worth ceding some control over the fisheries and self-determination that defined Iceland's independence since it broke away from Denmark 8 decades ago. Heidrun Marteisdottir is head of Fisheries Iceland, an industry association.
We have 100% of the profit in Iceland, and we want to keep it that way. So that is our worries if we join the common fisheries policy, is that this value chain that has generated all this profit for the Icelandic population, that will be torn apart.
Fisheries remain central to Iceland's economy and identity alike. Much of the cod eaten in British fish and chip shops today comes from Icelandic waters.
I think it revolves around mostly keeping control of our own choices and decisions as a country.
And our last story is actually about the humanoid robots who on Sunday took over the athletic arena at the World Robots Games, competing in sparring, sprinting and Tai Chi. Wonderful. Let's take a look at this next report. Well,
I'm blown over by that. I mean, that's a big change from Robot Wars when I was a kid, you know.
Listen, I've yet to see the day when I take inspiration from a robot doing Tai Chi. But anyway, I guess we're here now. Now we're going to go back into the kitchen and see what Chef Zarka's done with that food, because it smells amazing.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the kitchen. I'm just in the process of now finishing off the dish. The heat's already off from under the pan as the chicken and the chickpeas is completely cooked. Now, earlier I showed you before I started the show that I fried some onions because we're going to be using them to top up the dish when we serve, as well as I have some chilies, red chilies, which is, you can get them ready-made or you can make chili sauce by just adding red chili flakes to the oil and tempering them or doing the tadka. As well as already I added the green chilies in the beginning when I was, making the masala for the chicken and the chickpeas. I added about 4 green chilies to the sauce. So towards the end, it's just about doing the fresh coriander and the chili flakes, as well as the fried onions that I'm going to be adding to the dish. Already I warmed up some bread, and now we're going to just serve this chickpea and chicken curry. And just one thing I like to say, that as I was stirring these chickpeas, I was mashing them ever so slightly with the back of the spoon as well. So what happens here is that you get some mashed up chickpeas and some whole, and that gives like really nice look and not so much the taste, but the different texture to your dish. So I'm adding all the chicken pieces like so, and the chickpeas as well.
Zarka, what you've cooked today,
yes,
on a family basis, how many people do you think that would serve?
I mean, it depends how hungry you are today, Hajra. I mean, there are days that you could finish this dish all in one go by yourself. Only joking, yeah. I think comfortably 3 to 4 people could eat this portion. So let's just start off with some coriander, because it's always nice to add a bit of color. Then we're going to add a little bit of the chili flakes onto the chicken here. This is crispy chili, so it's quite hot as well as we're going to add the crispy fried onions, so you can see how many textures are going off here. You know, it's the same ingredients, but when you serve things a bit differently, you know, it just adds a complete different dimensions to your dish. And then top it up with even more fresh coriander. And this is it, guys. Job's done.
That's amazing.
Just ever so slightly some garam masala or roasted cumin seeds towards the end as well. That will enhance the flavor of your dish. And I'm wondering who's going to be joining me in the kitchen today to give the true verdict of tasting the dish.
I'm actually interested again for you to reiterate.
I don't know.
How many chilies did you use in this?
Quite a bit of chilies, guys.
I'm just watching you put your chilies in, and I think both of you more or less, can't we? Yeah, depending.
I mean, it's always to your taste. I always say salt and the spice level is to your taste, your family's taste. But Bismillah, so what you do is you break the bit of bread. Traditionally, I would be making chapatis at home to go with that. But today, I have some ready-made pita bread.
We're gonna eat with our hands live on camera.
Yeah, I mean, or you could have a spoon here. You could dip your
that's a good idea. I think that's
sauce.
safer.
I'm wondering if I could I don't have spare spoons, but we have one spoon, and then you just traditionally break the bread, dip it in the sauce, and put it in your mouth. So
here goes, guys.
Bismillah.
Bismillah.
And so let's see the verdict.
I don't have words, Zaka. Alhamdulillah. It's lovely.
It's not that spicy, is it?
Mashallah.
No. Yes. So I don't think it'll be overpowering chili, but it won't be mild. Just put it that way.
Definitely got to get some chicken on here. Let's have a go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody wanted to see me doing that.
Amina's just...
yeah.
What?
They'll be queuing up outside afterwards for the food. It's lovely.
It's brilliant. Mubarak.
Alhamdulillah, Zaka. I mean, you really have outdone yourself today.
Thank you.
We're going to wrap up shortly.
Mm-hmm.
We are. We hope you've enjoyed this as much as we have today.
We always love
we get the best treats.
Bringing the morning shows to you guys, just to inspire you, especially on a Monday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have
Brighten
to have
up
it
the day.
spicy on a Monday
we
morning.
started the right way. But guys, if you have any guests that you would like us to interview or any ideas for stories you want us to speak about, please do send us your ideas to sb@islamchannel.tv. I'm sure that's on the screen somewhere.
Hopefully, or it will come up on the screen very soon.
Inshallah. But again, it's the beginning of the week, and we hope to see you with us tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, and then even Saturday for Salaam Britain again.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Assalamu
alaikum wa rahmatullah. Take care.